Hello everybody, how are you doing today? Today I want to share with you an example, a story, or a way, or a recipe, whatever you want to call it, can really help you understand how to tap into the power of your mind. We have heard this over and over and over again. You are so powerful. You are powerful beyond imagination. You are this, you're that. But how do we use this power? What power you're talking about, right? And today I'm using this beautiful analogy to really help you understand at a deeper level and all the technicalities and nuances and everything that happens when we use the power of our mind, and where most of us go wrong, where the glitches happen, where we get in that trap that we don't get what we want and we feel, oh, I'm not good enough. If you understand this today, if you really get this today, I'm telling you, you can have whatever you want. So yesterday I was meditating, and all of a sudden I got this inspired idea, almost like a download, right, from super conscious, that what if we look at, achieving quantum leaps or tapping into the power of our mind exactly like we do this thing. And when I connected the dots, it was like, wow, if we can do this, right? If we all do that, by the way. So how can we adopt it and do it with our mind and get the incredible results? So I'm not going to hold the suspense any longer, and I'm going to tell you what I'm talking about. Okay? And let me tell you this, if you really get it, you can have whatever you want, and all the traps that we get stuck into, you can resolve that there and then. You get your power back. You have the map now. This is the map. This is the recipe, guys. So make sure you pay attention and you stay with me and you really do this with me. Okay? So let's take the example of Google Maps, right? You're sitting in your car. You know where you're going. You're going to a party, and it's quite far away, but you have no idea how to get there. Okay? You have no idea. Now what will you do? You will put in your GPS, right? You'll open your phone. You all mostly have smartphones, and you will open Google Maps and write the address, right? Can you relate to that? You're going to write your address. Now, when it comes to using our minds, we are not told that it is a GPS. So when we think about achieving big goals, achieving big dreams, we say, oh, I don't know how to do this, so maybe I can't do this. Imagine it's like saying, oh, I don't know the way to the party, so I'll probably not come to the party. Use the GPS. Use the Google Maps. It's free. Use your mind. It's free. Yeah, there's no cost to the most powerful thing we have got. So yes. So you put the address in the GPS. Now this is the same thing we need to do. We need to put the address in our mind. How? Nobody told us that. We got this most powerful equipment, but nobody gave us the manual how to use it. So I'm going to show you today. What you do is you create a beautiful picture of where you want to be, of the money you want to manifest, of the house you want to live, of the car, of the business, of the charity you want to support, whatever you want to do, the relationship, health, whatever it is, create a beautiful picture, exact picture. Like you know the exact address to that party. You're not going to write random addresses. You want to be sure it's the right address so that the GPS takes you there. Even if one alphabet is wrong in the code or the number, it's not going to get there. We know that. So we sometimes double check, right? So make sure you have the exact, most precise, clear picture. It doesn't mean that you can have one picture. You can have lots of pictures defining that place. But it has to be specific. How much money? What kind of house? Where? What kind of car? What color? What model? Everything has to be precise, okay? Like you put in the address. Now, how do we feed into the address? That is the question. We feed into the maps. So in Google Maps, you type it. It says, yes, I've relocated the location. Here you go. Press start and you're going. This is not how it works in the mind, okay? In your mind, it's not going to say, oh, I've accepted the location. You can go. No. You have to keep imagining it. Keep putting that image over and over again. Whenever you find that free time, whenever you're not doing anything, even when you're watching TV, you're in shower, you keep impressing your mind. Okay, that means you're now writing the address over and over again until your mind will say, okay, I've got it. I'm gonna take you there. I've got it. I've located it. Now, your mind is not gonna tell you that it has located it. Okay, for us, it means believing that yes, it's possible. It's done. In fact, it's done. It's located. But a lot of times, believing doesn't come straight away based on what happened in our past, how many things we have gone through, how big is our goal, all those things. But it doesn't mean you control. You just let your mind accept it when it's meant to accept it. It might take you a week, it might take you a day, it might take you a month. Your job is not to control the part when your mind is going to take it. Your job is to just say, okay, I'm going to impress it. I'm going to keep putting this address. And then your mind is going to accept it. For some people, it's at times it's like a completely shift in energy. Like you know it's done. You know, like even your subconscious language, your inner chat is talking from the perspective that it's done. It's like you're sitting there and you're saying, you know, when is that going to happen? I'll do that. And you realize it's not your chat. It's your automatic inner chat. You know, it's coming from your programming, your pattern. But the pattern has changed now. So you're like, oh my God. So I remember when I was, I had one client and she said to me, I have read so many books, I bought so many courses, I've done so many things and I can't do this, right? And then after literally a few weeks of working with me, she said to me, you know what? Today I was in the pool and I had this natural chat, that's inner chat, that when that's gonna happen, I'll do that. And I was shocked. I catch myself saying that. I said, you know what? You have become one with the belief now. That's why you don't have to consciously tell yourself, yes, say like that, do like that. Your mind has picked it up. And it's telling you now. He's telling you. So now it's leading you. You're not leading your mind anymore. It is now on autopilot taking you there. She was so happy. She was like, oh my God. So a lot of people ask me this question. I used to ask this question to every random person before I knew that how do we know that you have become one with the belief? How do you know that you believe? The reason you know is you have a completely shift in energy. That means you know that you're going to get there. You don't question it. You know it. Okay? It's like a second nature. Like, do you know if you're in, I don't know where in the world you are right now, but if it's dark, you know it's going to be day. You're not questioning. You're not thinking, I don't know. You know. Have you got a proof? Can you show me looking at the sky right now any writing or anything that it's going to be light? No, there's nothing there, but you know. I can't challenge you on that, right? Similarly, if you're in the part of the world where it's light right now, you know it's going to be dark. So you know, right? I cannot challenge you. Even if I tell you 100 times, you're not going to believe me. So that is unwavering faith. That happens when your mind picks it up. Secondly, your autopilot language changes. And like this client, you would start telling yourself, oh, when that happens, when in that situation, or I know, or all these things which shows that you have that belief, right? And you know what? You cannot force the belief. If you force the belief, you're forcing opposite. So listen to this. Really stay with me here. If I say, I want to believe that I can manifest that money, or I have manifested that money, or I'm trying to manifest that money. Every time I beat myself for not believing and forcing believing, what am I feeling? What am I feeling? That I'm not believing. So what am I actually building the pattern for? Not believing. So no matter how much I force, I'm actually doing the opposite. Similarly, if you are saying, oh, I'm such a bad person. I'm so negative. I always have negative thoughts. I don't believe. What you're doing? You are reinforcing what you don't want. So let's not do that. Let's just play the game. And let's just play with the idea and keep impressing with fun and joy and with, love that. Beautiful moon. Love that. So it's going to be day tomorrow, right? I can't question with you that it's not going to be. Right? You know it. That is belief. Even if I give you 100 reasons it's not going to be morning in the morning. Oh my God, I'm also saying in the morning, right? So you can see how automatic the things are when we really believe. So I remember that client said to me that, like when I'm doing things, I have this automatic inner chat that when that happens, when I'm there, like she automatically goes there. So now her automatic behavior, her subconscious behavior. Hi, Isabel. Hello. Her subconscious behavior is taking there. right? So that is when the belief is done. That's when it's done. It's nurtured. Okay. So how do we do that? We cannot control when you believe. You cannot control at all. So don't try. Don't go there. Just keep reinforcing the idea with love and compassion and joy. The more great feelings you attach to it, the more you emotionally feel it, it's going to happen. But if you fight your way into it, you're fighting the opposite. I'm sorry. It's not going to work. Okay. So then the next question is that you're putting the address now. Okay. This is the very, very tricky part. And I really want you to pay attention, because I get it and now I work on it. But this is the most tricky part where all of us get stuck. All of us. When I say all of us, I mean it. Okay? I'm laughing because I do too. But I know I do, so I can fix it. And I want you to know so that you can fix it. So when you put the address in the GPS, right? Now Google Maps asks you, do you want to take a car or are you walking? Or do you want to take a public transport? Right? You choose the option. Now the options you're choosing are your beliefs. Let me say it again. The options you're choosing are your beliefs. What do I mean? So if you believe that it's going to be slow, it's going to take me forever to achieve that goal, or it's not happening because around in my country, people are not making a lot of money, or it's recessions, it's going to be really slow, or there is no way, all those things are your beliefs. Okay? Every word you say, every sentence you speak, every thought you think, every feeling you feel is a reflection of a belief. So when I do these discovery calls and consultations, I'm not looking for what you're telling me. I'm looking for your beliefs. So funny, like every sentence you tell me, I can see a belief, and I get direct to that belief. But how can I say that? How can I know your belief? Unfortunately, I don't have a machine where I can just scan all your beliefs. I wish I have that. I might work on that, but when I ask you questions, I get your belief one by one by one by one. And I know your beliefs. And that are creating a reality, right? So beliefs are like assumptions. So if you tell the Google Maps that I want to walk it, I don't want to take a car, I don't want to take a faster route, it's not going to show you that way. It will never show you the way. It's not going to say, by the way, you know it's going to take you 2 hours to walk it. And if you take a car, it's going to be just 15 minutes. So you might want to change your mind. Doesn't do that. It will take as it is what you say. Okay? So if you believe it's going to take you really long and you're walking it, I'm taking a metaphor here, you're walking it because you're thinking it's too slow, it's not going to question you. So if you tell your mind, I want to do it slow because I think I can't do it fast, it is going to open that way. It is a GPS. It is objective. It doesn't have minds of its own. Your mind hasn't got a mind of its own. It is just a mind. It's a tool. It's a GPS. So if you say, it's going to take me really long, it's going to give you the long way. If you ask yourself a different question and say, how can I get there really fast? Now you're changing the assumption that you can get there fast. Law of assumption, guys. Assumptions. So you're saying you can get there fast. That is the assumption. On the basis of that assumption, you're asking the question, how can I get there fast? So what route your mind is going to open? Route or route, depending where you are in the world. The fast one. Right? So when you're using the GPS, which we all should, we have got it. I don't know why we don't use it. Why we cancel the party when we can use the GPS and go to the party of our dreams. I don't know why. Probably we are not taught. So when you're using this GPS, just check in and see what assumptions are you using. So what box are you ticking? Are you saying, I want the wheelchair access? Now, all I'm using these metaphors is to help you explain that your beliefs are determining the route. So if you feel that I cannot go there fast, I'm not that good enough, and you're saying, I want this, then your mind is going to open that route. And then if you're saying, why it's taking that long? Because your assumptions, you have chosen that route. Okay? So when you're putting that goal in the mind, as you're putting that address, by imagining it a lot of times and not forcing yourself to imagine it or believe it, belief comes after, then make sure that the assumptions you're using, the beliefs you are holding on to, they are in your favor. Okay? They are not dictated by your outside circumstances. They are not dictated by, oh, it's not possible. The question is not what is possible, what's not possible. The question is, what do you want? So if you want to get there fast, you want to get there really fast, then make sure you change your belief and say, how can I get there fast? So the question, the address you're putting is, I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm getting there so fast. Right? Because if your assumption is, oh, it's recession, it's going to take me such a long time to manifest my money because it's recession and people are struggling, businesses are struggling, it's not going to work. I'm sorry, that is the belief you hold, and the result is going to be based on that belief. It has nothing to do with recession, because most millionaires are made during recession. Most big companies come in operation, and they were founded during the worst economic times. Property investors know that the best time to buy a property is during recession because the prices are the lowest, right? So what recession? The funny part is I was talking to one of my friends before, and she's in property, and she said, I see what the average assumptions are of the market, and I use the opposite assumptions. And when I use the opposite, I'm the only few people are walking a different walk, and I get those results when I desire. So are you taking the assumptions what everybody else is taking around you based on the news and everything? Or are you taking assumptions based on the 3D that, oh, it never worked before, it takes long, I don't think I'm going to get there. And these assumptions are very subconscious, guys. So sometimes you have to really sit down and check in with yourself. What am I thinking? What am I saying? What am I saying to myself which I don't even know? Just passing through my conscious thing, and it's just going boop in my subconscious. What is it? Okay? So it is really, really, really about keep checking your assumptions. Keep checking it. Even when you're in the midst of it, you believe it. Sometimes based on what's happening in the 3D, as the 3D is lagging behind, right? 3D follows 4D. 3D follows our imagination. But when we are in 3D, when it seems so real, we tend to formulate beliefs. So for example, if somebody says, oh, you need that degree to do that, okay? Just check in with yourself. Are you holding on to that belief, or you don't want? The simplest test is that reality doesn't create our beliefs. Our beliefs create our reality. It's the other way around. Okay? So whatever you're going to believe in, the reality is going to be like that. But the trap is we see the reality and we form a belief. No, don't do that. We'll create more of the same. Okay? So even in the process of that beautiful quantum leap, that party you're going to, okay, and now you're putting the address and you're all ready and nice and going there, make sure that the ticks you mark even along the way. Don't get, don't let the way confuse you and say, oh, look, it's so difficult. Nothing is moving. So based on the fact that you see from your eyes, nothing is moving, you form a belief it's slow. Why? And then it's actually slow because you think it's slow. See the trap? So please make sure that you constantly, like I do, and the reason I was laughing is because I sit with myself and I check in that, okay, what beliefs am I holding on to? What are my assumptions, right? And then constantly reversing those assumptions and making them what you want them to be instead of what feels the truth, the so-called truth in the given 3D, right? So please keep checking your assumptions throughout the way until you get there. If the outside world is saying it's slow and you start to believe it's slow, it's definitely going to be slow. What if there is no sign in the 3D and you still keep believing that it's going to be so fast? And you're not believing because you're delusional, you're believing because you know what you believe. Our beliefs create a reality. It is not an easy thing to do, guys. I know. And that's why I do a lot of work with my clients. Like I really go there with them to take all those beliefs out, install new ones, to take all the assumptions out, and I see that beautiful transformations. Like sometimes it shocks me that how transformative this is. But this is so important that we are so well aware of our ideas and thoughts and feelings that we hold and assumptions we make along the way. If we see a road accident, I'm just still using that metaphor. Now, are we going to hold on to that belief that, oh, now we're not going to get there on time? Or we are going to still believe we're going to get there on time because that's what we want, right? So don't let any loopholes, any diversions, any illusions in the 3D, change your belief. Okay? And then when you keep implanting that idea and you keep moving. So one of the other thing is, don't wait for the idea to be implanted or the change in energy, because you really don't know that line. There is no test to say, okay, you're fused with the belief. So don't wait for the belief to happen. Take action, because the more you start taking action and you go in momentum, your belief will start nurturing more. It's like, if you really believe that there is $1 million in the other side of the country waiting for you, would you go and get it? You would, right? You wouldn't wait for anything. You would just go and get it. So action is fairly important to enforcing the belief, to starting the momentum, to not letting. So action is how we receive it, right? By thought, we create the thing. Wallace explains so beautifully in his book. By thought, by imagination, we create that thing, right? But by action, we receive it. So by action, you go and get that money. So when we go with that assumption and belief that we are receiving it now, it's done, it's already waiting for us, and it's not slow, it's really fast, we are worth it, all those beautiful beliefs, then we'll get it with ease and flow. So the hard work and effort doesn't come in doing the work or taking action. The hard work is the mental work, when the 3D is so opposite to what you want to believe, but you still believe. And that belief changed, that belief moved the mountain. I'm telling you, it does. No matter how big of the mountain it is, if you keep believing, because you know your belief creates your reality, and your belief are so different to the 3D, that belief will move the mountain. It will. So the hardest work is not taking action. Hardest work is not doing the work. Hardest work is the mental game. Thinking what you want to think, believing what you want to believe. Okay? And I want to really end this with a thing that the outside world around you right now is not real. It's just an illusion. It's a manifestation. It's a projection of the inner world. So the inner world you had in your past, the outside world is a projection of that inner world. Okay? And the inner world can change any time with one decision. And the outside world has to change, because it's just a projection. So even right now, if you're watching me live, right, this is a projection of your own desire, right? You want to go there and you're asking for it. And this single presentation or session can get you there, right? So everything that happens to you is the result of this inner thing, right? So there is nothing as absolute reality. It's what you feel here.